Hello, cosplay. Well, we're back, and a week or 2 weeks ago, or whatever the case may be, depending on when I upload these, we painted this up with our edge brush. If you'd like to see that, you should probably go back and check out the Tip Tuesday for the edge brushing for very clean work. Now, there's two schools here. There's the like spiffy, brand new stuff, and of course, there's the battle damage. Sorry, drinking less coffee. Now, there's many ways to go about this, but I'm going to talk today with you about the fan brushes. This is more about the fan brushes. Some of these effects you can get with other brushes, such as sponge brushes, and very careful work with other shaped brushes. But I'll talk about fan brushes for a moment. Okay, so I actually need a new cup, which is right here. I'm going to put these away just in case I accidentally mess them up. And I'm going to take some white, put it in. What I like about a fan brush is its kind of inability to hold paint. Not so much maybe even the shape of the brush itself or the way it hits, the general, rock. You can use fan brushes to simulate, say, leaves and natural sort of stuff. But I don't do a whole lot of that. This is more of creating textures with it. That's what we're going to show off today. Now, as you can see, it doesn't hold very much paint compared to, say, this little edge brush here. We're going to put some paint in this. And we're going to clean it off to a reasonable amount. You can see that it holds much more, which is good for when you're trying to get coverage. But with this, we're trying to have a bit more control. And one thing I do like to do is make sure I have this is somewhat similar to working with, say, eyelashes when you're coating them with makeup, is that you want a certain pattern to it. And so I'm going to brush it along on my paper towel, getting out the paint I don't want until I can get the brush itself to get the pattern I'm trying to go for here. And we're getting close. I'm trying to go for a solid pattern here, or almost solid pattern. Alright, we're getting pretty close. Alright, now you may not necessarily want to go for this. You may want to try a more spread out feel, but for my demonstration here, I'm going to try and get a solid brush. But as you can see, there's hardly any paint on the brush itself as I clean it off. What these brushes are really nice, and I enjoy using them for, is doing edge highlights. Because there's so little here, you can get up right on the edge, and I don't need to worry about the paint gooping up and becoming blotchy or uneven, because there's really only so much paint to go around. So there we go. Now, that's a pretty clean, that's not as clean as I'd like, but it's a pretty clean edge. Now what I can do to create some wear is drag it a bit more along the surface. That's a bit too much. There we go. And then of course the direction dictates the kind of wear. Make sure that when you're doing this, you put the direction of the wear that makes sense. If it's a blade, put it in the direction of the blade. If it's like a shoulder pad, put it in the direction someone might be falling in a shoulder pad. There's too many times I see on costumes that the damage is just kind of in random directions. And sure, that's just me being nitpicky, but it does add to the overall effect of the costume. Now, aside from edging, it can do a very nice effect over the entire surface. And you can achieve this is what basically you can get with a sponge brush as well. But we're just going to gently glide this over the surface and bring out the texture there. Now of course the direction does matter. Here I'm just trying to give a general parallel grain. You don't want to go all over in random directions. That looks super weird for me personally. But you can bring out detail and make your paint more interesting than just a plain base color. when you're doing this with the sponge brush, you want to make sure you have a little bit. You're paying attention to how much is in the brush itself, because you could just end up with a huge splatter of paint, and that is counterproductive to the texture we're going, or I'm personally like. Now, one interesting thing too is that these bristles, or they pick up on smaller kind of edges and details. I'm going to run this over just this little crease of paper here. Actually, I should be doing it like this. There we go, just so you guys can see it a bit more. Okay, there we are. And as you go, you can feel out the amount of paint in your brush and flip it over to the other side. And so, without adding too much paint to the surface and ruining what you've done before, you can now very clearly see this edge, just this really thin edge in paper. Now this is actually two layers in the paper. This is the edge that was touching the foam, and this is the edge that peeled off. So really, really small, minuscule details are brought to life by using a fan brush here in this way. And it's possible with a sponge brush, but it is much. You have to be a little bit more careful about it. Like nothing is really just like impossible with other brushes. It's just the tools. This particular tool is good for this. All right. And again, I'm just going to bring a really striking edge here to this green, and I'll say right here to this green, and that'll just bring that out. And there you go. And of course, that's it brings out your wear and tear. You probably want to go a little heavier with this just to show the lights and darks of that particular area. And how do you like that? Now before you even, well, it was probably pretty hard to even tell that there was a slight, this is like less than a hair's thickness of difference here, and this fan brush was able to bring that out. Oh well, I hope this little demonstration was useful. I hope it was awesome too. I hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time. Good times to all. Hey, looks like you made it all the way to the end. If you're interested in more new tutorials, con coverage, and other cosplay shenanigans every week, hit that sub button to get it delivered hot and fresh to you.